teenager with $700 asked to invest. Their mom said no. That single conversation will cost that kid over $300,000 by retirement. And millions of parents are having it right now. This isn't a story about a market crash or a hedge fund blow-up. It's quieter than that and more expensive. It's about the financial beliefs that get handed down from one generation to the next, usually with love and almost always with the wrong math. The teenager at the center of this story isn't doing anything reckless. No crypto, no options, no leverage. They want to put $150 a month into index funds. They want a high-yield savings account. They want a Roth IRA. Their mother's response? She starts yelling. If you've ever been told focus on school instead of let me explain how compound interest works, this video is for you. Because that silence around money isn't just awkward, it's actively costing the next generation hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's start with what a Roth IRA actually is, because most of the fear around it comes from people who were never taught. A Roth IRA is a retirement account where you contribute money you've already paid taxes on. It grows tax-free. You withdraw it in retirement, tax-free. No surprises, no hidden catches. The government built this account specifically to reward people who start saving early. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 a year or your total earned income, whichever is lower. For a college student with a campus job, that number is going to be somewhere between $1,000 and $3,000. That's fine. It's still the right move. Here's why. Say you're 18 and you invest $150 a month, $800 a year, into a Roth IRA holding broad market index funds. You earn the stock market's long-run historical average of about 7% annually, adjusted for inflation. You keep contributing until you're 65. By retirement, you have roughly $593,000, tax-free. Now say your parents said no. You wait until you're 28. Same $150 a month. Same 7% return. Same retirement age. You end up with about $268,000. The difference? Over $325,000. Gone, not lost to bad bets or market crashes, lost to 10 years of not starting. But it gets worse. That penalty compounds on itself. The first decade of growth doesn't just matter, it sets the base for everything that follows. Every dollar compounding at 18 has 47 years to grow. Every dollar starting at 28 only gets 37. The math doesn't work in a straight line. It accelerates. Here's what they missed. The teenager in this story isn't asking permission to gamble. They're asking to do exactly what every retirement expert, every financial planner, and every piece of U.S. government policy around savings explicitly encourages. Congress created the Roth IRA in 1997 precisely because early, consistent investing works. The government designed this vehicle for people in their position. So where does the fear come from? Usually from experience. Parents who watched family members lose money in bad investments, who remember the savings and loan crisis, the dot-com crash, 2008, who saw retirement accounts get cut in half in a single quarter. That fear is real. The pain behind it was real. But here's the distinction that gets lost. Index funds held for decades are not the same thing as speculative short-term bets. The S&P 500 has never, over any 20-year rolling period in its history, delivered a negative return. Not 1929, not 2008, not the dot-com implosion. A 47-year investment window doesn't just reduce risk. For a diversified index fund, it has historically eliminated it. Conflating index fund investing with risky investing is one of the most expensive thinking errors one generation can pass to the next. Now, the high-yield savings account. This teenager asked about that too and got yelled at again. A high-yield savings account isn't an investment. It's a savings account that pays a real interest rate. In mid-2026, the best ones are offering around 5 to 5%. The national average for traditional bank savings account is under 0.5%. On $700, that gap is roughly $30 a year. It sounds small until you realize this scales at $10,000. The difference is $400 a year, just sitting there for doing nothing different with your money. There's no downside. FDIC insured, liquid, no fees at the major providers. Telling someone not to open one is financially telling them to refuse free money. To be fair, there are legitimate reasons to wait. A Roth IRA contribution requires earned income. If a teenager has no W-2 income yet, they genuinely cannot contribute for that year. The limit is the lesser of $7,000 or total earned income. This is a real rule, but the answer to that is open it as soon as you have your first paycheck, not don't bother. The brokerage account request, $15 or $150 a month in fractional shares of index funds, is harder to argue against by any reasonable standard. This is not a gambling budget. This is a habit. A $150 monthly habit started at 18 builds something the math already proved. The amount isn't the point yet. The identity is. Here's the part nobody talks about. The person who opens a brokerage account at 18 with $150 is building the identity of someone who invests. By 25, they understand dollar cost averaging without looking it up. By 35, they're not confused by their 401k options. By 65, they're the person at the family table who actually has a retirement. The person who was told to wait is still waiting. So what do we actually take from this? Lesson 1. Compound interest does not reward hesitation. Starting early is the single most powerful tool available to anyone building wealth from zero, and the numbers are not subtle. 10 years of delay doesn't set you back 10 years. It cuts your ending balance roughly in half. Lesson 2. Fear of investing and the wrong kind of investing are not the same thing. Index funds held over decades are among the safest financial instruments ever created. If someone in your life conflates them with day trading or speculative bets, they're working from an outdated model, and that model is expensive to inherit. Lesson 3. Financial literacy doesn't get passed down automatically. Most people were never taught how Roth IRAs work, what compound interest actually does over time, or why a high-yield savings account exists. That ignorance moves through families like any other belief. Breaking the cycle only requires being willing to look something up before saying no. To the teenager in this situation, your instincts are right. Open the high-yield savings account the day you turn 18, no one's permission required. Start the brokerage account once you have earned income. File your first W-2 and fund that Roth IRA the same week. You don't need $7,000 to start. You need a first step. The people who lose $300,000 to delayed investing don't do it in one moment. They do it I'll start when I have more at a time. If this video made you look at where your own money is sitting right now, Webull is offering 90 days of commission-free trading, a full quarter to start building the habit without giving up $1 in fees. The link is below. And I want to ask you something real. What were you told about money growing up? Did that advice help you, or did it cost you? Drop it below. Some of the sharpest conversations on this channel start exactly there. Save this one before you close it. If you know an 18-year-old who needs to see this math, sending it to them might be the most valuable thing you do for them all year.